Welcome back, everybody. And if you're new here, I'm Kathy Arbor, and we're going to be doing some acrylic painting today. I just wanted to show you what we did last Tuesday. We did this cute little mouse watercolor, and this is my own creation, my own drawing, and there's a printable for you if you're interested in painting this. And that's through the membership, $2.99 a month, and it includes all of your printables, traceables, whatever I've given you for the last year and a half, I think it is now. And if you can't see the links down below in the description because you're on an iPad or iPhone or whatever, for some reason YouTube hasn't figured that one out yet. But I also have a Patreon that has the same content, and you can click on the Patreon link down below. Alright, so I thought, well, last Thursday of the year, and winter, it's very cold here, and no snow yet, but I'm not complaining. So I saw this. This is a Stamperia paper. I'm not sure which one. This had the fish and kind of fantasy paper. I can't remember what it was called. But anyways, I thought this would be a really cute paper to use and paint on. So this would make a really great background. Because what I want to do is a winter scene with trees and snow and possible moon in the background glowing on everything. Hi Rhonda, good to see you. Yeah, everything's great here. I hope you're well too. So this is something you could do. You don't need traceable for this one. You can make up whatever trees you want in it. I'm only going to put a few in, so it's not really a dense forest landscape type thing, and most of them are going to be fairly close up front, so you can see a few trees overlapping, but not a whole lot. Oh, great. Yeah, the last Thursday of the year. Can you believe it? It went by so fast. Surprising. So, I'm just gonna, I've got a pastel pencil here, and I'm just gonna use this. I've already put a application of gel medium matte on, so it didn't curl my paper because it's a soft gel, so it doesn't have as much water content in it. And it's almost dry, so I'm going to give that a little bit of a heat. So as you know, tomorrow, New Year's Eve, there is a stream-a-thon that Mary Altier is hosting, and I will be on at 6:30 p.m. till 8:30, and it starts with her, I think 4:30 in the morning. I won't be there. And then Dee Dee's on. Colleen and Kathy are streaming together. They'll be on at 10:30, I think. Hey Kim. Kim, if you could find that link for the stream-a-thon on Mary's channel and post it for me, that would be wonderful. And it gives you all the different channels that will be streaming. So it's going to go right through to the next day. So it's almost, I think it's almost 24 hours, if I remember correctly. So there's all kinds of artists doing all kinds of different art. It's going to be a lot of fun. This is, oh gosh, I don't know how many years we've been doing this. It's got to be over 5 years now. Jean started it, the musical scrapper, and I saw her this week on Dee Dee's. It was so good to see her. She's been knitting up a storm, so we haven't seen her a whole lot. Hey Lisa, Devin, good. See you guys. So this is that Stamperia paper, and I like using what I have. You don't have to just use mixed media paper or watercolor paper when you're doing a painting. You can use whatever you want, as long as you put a bit of matte medium on this. That's all you need. Hey Lori. So this was from the Stamperia, the one with all the fish and that type of thing. Hey Kathy, good to see you. For tomorrow, not doing anything interesting, sending everyone over. Oh, okay. You're still figuring stuff out. Awesome. I'm just going to roll this so it stops curling. So this is the Night Sky paper. It's already got the matte medium on it, and I'm just going to use this. Hey Judy, my camera went down for the count last night during some nasty storming. Oh, you got storms. Oh wow. Well, at least you got her going again. Yeah, I saw the on YouTube there was some weather people talking about some pretty nasty stormy weather coming all over the place, really. Kathy, have you ever used the Daniel Smith granulating liquid? It comes in a jar, I guess it is supposed to make a watercolor. Oh yeah, I have not used it. I do have one granulating, I can't think, I think it's, let me check. No, it's golden. I have the golden one, but they all work pretty well the same. So it gives you a little bit of grit, tooth to the paper, if you're going to use it for watercolor, pastel, that type of thing. I haven't used it on this type of thing. For me, pastels, I'm not one that does a lot of layering like a regular pastel artist would on pastel paper. Most of my stuff is done with pan pastels, and you don't need a whole lot of grit with those. And it's basically an undercoat, and then I use colored pencils. Winsor Newton liquid one, and it works pretty good. Does it, Devin? That's good to know. I think they all pretty well work the same. Some might have a little more tooth than others. It all depends on, you know, what you're wanting to use on top of it. Actually, the Liquitex Gesso Clear works just as good. Now, it wouldn't work as well for watercolor, but as far as pastels, it works great. if you want your watercolor to flow like watercolor paper, then you have to make sure you get the one for watercolor, because there's different ones. Hey, Dar. Is it Dar or Dare? I've probably been saying it wrong this whole time. That's typical of me. All right, so I'm going to have let's see, just like that, and maybe like that. This is going to be my land, and off of this I will put the trees. So I think I want the I want some background trees too, so let's put a few small ones, maybe evergreens, because they're fun to do. And I'm going to put them in different sections, and they'll have to be different heights also. So the smaller ones would be shorter, of course. And let's put one here, another one, a little taller. And I'm going to have that one tall too. Hey, Janet. It's Dare, is that right? A hard A. So this is going to be a really easy one for all people to do. So I love doing these types of landscapes. It's all about more or less your brush work than precise strokes. Hey, Joan. Good to see you. So I'm going to be using craft paint. So I want kind of a bluish purple color. You can make it up by just adding a little purple to your blue, but I don't want a really dark blue. Actually, this is an excellent bluish color, and this is I think it's Bahama purple, maybe? It's hard to see. Or deep periwinkle is also a good one. Maybe I'll use that one. And then a white. So I have some titanium fluid acrylic here. And this is the color we're going to use for the snow. If you don't have these colors, you can also use cerulean blue with a little bit of white and just a smidgen of orange added to it, and it'll dull down that blue color. So you don't want blue blue. Okay, and then some of this. Just got something in there. Let's see. I've got a spare piece of paper here that I could test things on too. That's always a good thing to do if you're not sure on a color. And I have a flat here. Hey, Debbie. Let's test this. See what, yeah, that's not bad actually. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be too light or too dark. So that works for the color. And I'll just lighten it with a bit of white. So I think I'll just paint in the whole thing right now with this color. So I'm going to base coat it in. If some of the blue, dark blue shows through, I'm not too worried about it, because it can be a shadow also, a really deep shadow. I'm going to leave a little line so I can see where all my areas are of slopes. This is going to be my base color of the shadow of the snow. Especially at night, it's not white. It's more of a bluey purple color because of the night sky. Okay, we'll dry that up. So are you all going to have New Year's parties, or are you just having a nice relaxed Christmas or New Year's Eve? Some people celebrate New Year's Eve more than Christmas. I can remember when I was little, my sisters, the thing to do was, my older sisters, it was a big deal New Year's Eve, because you went out and bought a party dress and got your hair done, and you went out to a club and had dinner and dancing. I don't think they do that anymore. Everybody had to have a party dress. I remember that, thinking, oh, I can't wait till I'm old enough to do that. Hey, Dot. Hey, Dot, isn't it your birthday today? Happy birthday. I thought you were going to a party. Or is that on Friday? Are you a New Year's Eve baby? All right, so got that dried up. I think it's Dot's birthday today. Happy birthday! Yes, Kathy, it's my birthday, and I'm back from the lunchtime. Oh, awesome! Oh, you had a lunchtime? Well, that was probably better. And you can get settled down and all cozy for the evening. Well, I hope you had a fantastic luncheon. Did they spoil you? I'm going to get a bigger brush here. A little bit of a stiffer brush, I think. I think I'm going to use maybe my deer foot. So I'm going to make some strokes with snow. So the snow, I'm going to mix a little bit of that white with some of that purple just to lighten it. I don't want it white though. Let's see. Yes, Kathy. Some family couldn't come because... Oh, well, that's too bad. Well, best not to come then, because they don't want to make you sick. Oh, good. Some yummy stuff. All right, so the tops of the hills, when you have a hill like this crossing each other, you'll usually find that the top of the hill has a little bit more of a light color. And then I'm just going to darken that a little bit, adding some of that color to my brush. And as I go close to that bottom part of the slope, you make it a little darker. And I'm just mixing it into my wet paint that I already have here. Get a paper towel. I can smooth it out a little bit with this brush. Get rid of some of the lines if I want. And let's see, do I want to have, I'm just making this up as I go, guys. I haven't got a picture for this. I'm thinking maybe I want to change this up a little. I think I'm going to put a dip right in here. I'm still taking that light mauvey color. I'm going to mix up a bit more. And I'm just going to kind of crisscross my brush strokes. The reason why I'm doing that is I want to put some grasses, maybe some twigs in there, and you'll see a little indent from where they're sprouting out. And that's going to be a little bit of a shadow in there. So that'll work there. You won't see as much in the distance, but you will see it in the foreground. This has to be a little bit lighter because it's part of the background, top of the hill. So the sun or moon will be shining on it. This is going to be covered mostly because the trees will be going in here. And then as I go down, it gets a little bit darker. So you want to shade that area. So just add a little bit more of that color of mauve, or periwinkle, I think it was called. will highlight areas too. So don't get too caught up in the fine details yet, because we're going to be putting the trees in. But we want an idea of the snowy. So now I'm going to just put a little bit of white on the tops of this hill, just to emphasize the moon shining through, just here and there. Leave some of those areas that are dark. Don't cover it all up with white. You kind of want it blotchy in a way, because depending on where this snow is, if it's in a woods area and there's lots of twigs around, it's not going to be smooth looking. So you kind of want to leave a little bit. And you can do the same for the top part here. Now, again, most of this probably will be covered because of the trees, but I'm just going to throw in a little bit of that white along the top part. Not the actual cake. Oh wow, that sounds like a fantastic luncheon. Yum! Wow, lucky girl. All right. I don't want a lot of hard edges though, like in the snow. So you can kind of, if you see some really definite hard edges, you can kind of swipe them out with a bit of water on your brush. Not real wet though. And then just swipe them out. You are. Okay, I'm going to dry it. Hey, Jilly. Hey, Joe. That's right. I love a dinner like that. Wow. Alright, so now let's put in some trees. Now because it's nighttime, it's going to be a really dark color. So I could actually just use like Payne's Gray. Let's try Payne's Gray. Could put a little green in it maybe. Let's see. A dark green, or what's this one? There's black green. You can also use that. But I think that's too dark. Let's use this Hussar dark green with it. I'm just going to put that to the side for a minute. Take out another palette. These are just take out food lids that I use. I have my other wet palette, but I'm using that for those big canvases that I'm doing for my sister. So I don't want to mess them up. Now, you can use a fan brush doing these trees, or a flat brush. Let me see what I got here. Be the easiest to demonstrate this. If you have a fan brush, let's see. Do I have a small one? Yes, there's one. That's kind of, I like a fairly stiff fan brush though. Let's see. Don't know if I got one or not. That's two. I'll use this. So just a fan brush. This is Royal Lantkin number 4. We'll see. I'm going to test it on this piece of paper first. And I want it fairly dark. Just going to mix the two together. See if it's going to be dark enough. Will it be? I don't think I like this one. So let's get a bristle brush, probably. Where did I put those? I have a million brushes. Why is it you can't find what you want? I'll try this one. This is a bristle brush. We'll see what this does. It's fairly stiff. Let me see. Gotta get the right brush. I don't care for that one. It's too stiff. It's like Goldilocks. What's the best brush? That one's not as stiff, but it's too small. I know, I'm picky. I'm picky. I want something that's got a good stiff brush. I've had some, but I don't see them anywhere. Yeah, it'll do. Work with it. All right, so I want to do some evergreens. So we'll start off with the background first. Better get the right brush for sure. I know. It's true. And the background, actually, I'm going to do it in the same color as the snow. And we'll just put just some very faint looking they don't have to be perfect because they're in the woods, so they would be misshaped. They're not going to be gorgeous looking. They have snow on them. So just on the tops, put a little bit of white here and there. I'll find one yet. Let's see. Maybe dabbing, more or less. Put a couple more back here. Overlapping each other. A bit of snow. And then I'm going to get a liner brush and put in some stems also. Script brush. So you want it the right consistency. You don't want it too thick and you don't want it too watery. And just a few background trees basically that you would see. They have to be thin. They wouldn't be straight. Remember, we're still putting stuff in front of these, so I'm not too worried about how they're looking a whole lot. So just want a few background ones. Oh, the background's scrapbook paper, Lori. Like this here, that's just scrapbook paper from Stamperia. And I just put a coat of matte medium on it. Alright, so now what we want to do is take that brownish color and we'll do some of the other trees. So this is the Payne's Gray and Hussar Green dark. So we had, let's put some more. I'm just going to put some evergreen like pine in here. And just tap. As you go down, you could space them out however you want. Some trees are a little wider than others, some are a little narrower, depends on the type of evergreen. So you just kind of, I like just tapping. If you have a really nice fan brush that's not too wide, you can do that. And you wouldn't see it too much in the center, so it'd be fairly dark. Might have to put a second coat on the bottom part, or I could put snow on it too. We'll see. And maybe one over here. Just down here. Off the page a little bit. This is mainly Payne's Gray that I'm putting on right now, because we're not going to see a whole lot of detail on these trees because it's nighttime. And they're not even like a pine. You would see a pine in a farm for Christmas trees. Okay, let's dry that. Thanks, Dot. Hey, Judy. I want to get this fairly dry so I can go over top of these with some white and a little bit of a lighter color. Yeah, it's just the background. Nighttime. All right, now let's see. Now we could take a little bit of that white, and I'm just going to lighten this up a little bit with that white and add that green to it, so it's a little bit of a different color. It's not really green, it's not really, it's a different color. And then, let's see, where did that brush go? There it is. Now I want a stiffer brush. On the end. We'll try this. And you'll see just a little bit of different color here and there on the tree. So just do a little bit of dabbing. Remember the way the limbs fall, so they all wouldn't be just going across and then nothing down the center. The center ones would be going towards you. So just put a few that are kind of going towards you and off to the side a little bit. It just gives them a little bit of dimension when you do this, instead of just having the black. And then we'll put some white on them too. I'm just very, very lightly touching my paper. It's more of a dry brush, I guess you could say. And now you can take some of that white again, and don't put just white. You can dry that too if you wanted to. We want some of that purpley, light purple mauve color first. Especially when we're thinking about, I'm going to put a moon in here probably. So if the moon's shining on the opposite side, then you're going to see the center part of this tree, the snow's going to be a darker color because it's shadowed by the tree. So you just want to, wherever those green marks that you put in, just put a few globs of this more of a mauve color in here. You don't cover the whole tree, just do bits and pieces, because the wind blows off the snow and Squirrels are jumping in the tree, and so it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's going to come and say, that snow's not right. The snow police aren't coming. So you can do whatever you want. So I'm going to put a little bit more on the bottom here, like it's more drifted in look. Like that. Then this one too. If you want to make this more drifted, you could do that too. Or it could be just one side. Maybe it's drifting a certain way. That's fun to do. So it's still that mauve color that I'm using. These are very simple ways of doing a snow scene. Okay. Okay, so if this is mounded, so the snow is, going up against the tree, then I want this to be a little bit more covered so we don't see the, and remember the tree would be casting a shadow also, so the little snow bank would have the shadow cast down. Get a softer brush. Just walk it in there. Okay, we'll let that dry, and I'm just going to take a little bit in here too. So it would be a little bit shadowed around the bottom skirt of this tree. To let it dry. Just taking it off. Okay. Okay. I'm going to go back and put a little bit more of that green in again. Just here and there. Actually, more of that. Might be sticking through the snow a little bit. Okay. Let's take this brush. Just a minute, gotta get this. Oh my. I'm gonna put, I think I need a little bit darker, so that blue. Well, actually, I could probably use Payne's Gray a bit, just a smidge with that. Just want to put a little bit of shadow in here where the underneath the tree it would be a little bit darker. I'm probably getting too picky. I tend to do that. Right in here. Making kind of a shadow of the pine tree with this Payne's Gray and the we'll see if it works. If not, we can just cover it back up. Yep. Oofed. Got into some. Just let it dry. Darken those a little bit in the center. That. And then while that's drying, I want a dark brown. And a little bit of white. And I want some trees, bigger trees. So I'm going to look at where my little sections, so right in here there's a little darker area, shaded area right there. So I'm just going to run a tree limb up here, right in front of it. I want it fairly thick, and then maybe it's a split one. A little bit of white. It's a cluster. Could be birch. Right here. On there. More. Let's see, one here maybe. Up. Thicker. Okay, now let's dry that. Thanks, guys. That's fun. You just have to practice. There's nothing else I can say but practice. Now I can take my script liner and do a few of the more tiny. You could probably, if you have the same color paint, you could probably do this with a Posca marker too, if you wanted to. It might be a little bit lighter. And then just make them kind of crooked. Don't make them bow. Like, you want them fairly crooked. Just makes them a little bit more interesting if they have some angles to them. Kind of jerk when you're doing it. There'll be different widths too, so remember that. Some shorter ones on the bottom maybe. They have suckers coming out. If it's a birch, it'll have suckers coming out. And we can add some more white to it. Maybe a little bit of different color maybe. Like that. Okay, now I'm going to just take some white on my brush, on this liner brush, because I want to be a little more selective of how I want this to go on. So on these background evergreens, you can put a few highlights along the edge, outer edge, not on the center part, but just the outer edge. And that way it kind of looks like the the moon is shining off the snow. And we'll also put some on some of the stems. You just have to think about how the moon shines, and just put some of that on. So don't cover up all that area of the mauve, just more or less the outside edges is where you'd see it. Okay, and then that purple, add a little bit white to that, and I want it just a couple shades lighter than what's on the center, and then just put a few of that over top of those darker colors, more or less on the ends, the tips. And it'll kind of show up as, it's not white, but it's a little bit lighter. That. I'm going to put a little bit of that Payne's Gray on this tree here. I think it's got a little too much. It's not showing any darker areas in the center, so it kind of looks funny. I want a little bit of a shadow in the center and some of these. Underlying. Okay. And I'm going to take some white again on my flat, and I'm just going to emphasize some of the white snow, so it would have a little bit there and right here. It's got some brown in it. Right in here. Would be fairly bright. Probably should have done this before I put those trees in, but oh well. Can always put the trees back in. Just thinking of the shadows now, how the snow's going around this tree. Snowdrifts, how they work. A bit in here. Now, maybe the drift is here. It goes up the tree a little bit. So if it's coming from that angle, let's put some in here too. So kind of curling it up along the tree. All right. A bit of that brown again. Okay, now I can take that liner again and do some stuff on the tree branches. So you'd see like snow collecting if it was in the center here where the Y is. Might have some snow in there. Maybe in here. Just builds up in the splits of the tree. Or along the branch. Some branches might have it. Put that in there. Don't put them on all the areas, but some. Let's see. In there. On here. What else? Kind of just have to play with it. Oop. Oh. Now I got extra stuff. Don't drop your paintbrush. Almost had extra stars there. Here. Bye, Devin. See you tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Let's see. Here maybe. This one needs a little bit more. I don't want to put too many of them in there, but I do want them. It kind of defines the areas too when you put these in. Alright, now I think I'm going to put some highlight on the trees a little bit. So I want thinking. Let me just test. I don't know. Do I want that? I don't think so. Maybe a darker color. So if I take that brown and Payne's gray together, I want a darker brown. And I could probably dry brush it. Let's see. This brush maybe. Just lightly. Yeah. Go down some of these trunks. Darken them in the center because the shadow would be in the center, not the side, because of the moon shining. and just here and there. Just helps define the trees a little bit, makes them more 3D looking. And you do this. Now you could have done them in white and had them look like birch too. Just play with it. See what you can make up. Alright, and then I'm going to take maybe a Posca pen. I'm just going to test something. A gray maybe, or mauve. No, blue maybe. Nope. Maybe gray. I want a color, kind of a highlight. Let's see. This. Do I have gray? Oh, I have silver. Let's see. Do I have a gray and a Posca? I might have to go to a colored pencil, I think. Let's see what I want. Let's see. A blue-gray, maybe? Cool gray. Try this one. See if it works. A bit lighter. Might be able to just use a. Let's see. Yeah, this is a cream color, and just on the edge of the trees, it looks good to put a highlight. You could actually put some smaller branches too if you wanted to. It just gives that glowing effect that the tree would have because of the moonlight shining on it. And you would see it on both sides because of the moon. It's but it's just a very thin line, so that's why I didn't want to use the paint. But this works great. So you can put in as much as you want. I'm doing mainly the bigger branches to emphasize them, the trunks. Does make a difference though. Especially up in this area where the so this guess would be more mixed media than acrylics, although most of it's acrylics, but I can't help myself. If I have something that would work easier or look nicer, then I'm going to use it. That's why I love mixed media so much. There's so many ways of doing detail on your stuff. And who said you weren't allowed to use it? There are no rules, really, when you do stuff. That's how you invent things, by experimenting. Here. Yeah. Okay, so that looks good. I like it. So now I'm going to put some snow on it, I think. So I'm just going to take my toothbrush and some white paint. Where did I put the white? Oh, there it is. And yes, I better get another palette out and put some spots on. If you go up high, ooh, those are big ones. Then dry it. Thanks, Kim. Bye, Judy. Have a fantastic New Year's Eve. Takes a while for the dots to dry. Thanks, Jilly. I could actually put some grasses in there too, if I wanted to. Well, actually, I should put shadows on those trees. Yeah. Just put some shadows on those trees, because the shadow is going towards you, so we've got to put some of those on. So, and we did that with some Payne's Gray. And, excuse me. So, okay, dry those. Hi, Brenda. Now, there is one way of making fuzzy looking snow too, because sometimes your snow in the background can be faded out. And all you have to do is wet your whole paper and then spray more white on, and it'll blur out. So they look a little bit more further away if you want to do that. Also, for close-up, you want to do some bigger ones. So let's see if we can do some bigger ones. This could be a fail. Let's see. No, I need a brush, I think. Let's see. Something. bigger ones. And then you just tap away the ones you don't want. Let's get rid of that one. Maybe a couple in there. Yeah, that works. You kind of have to just play. Sometimes it's a disaster, but you'll never know until you try it. So you want different size snowflakes. Some way up front, some far away. So I hope you guys give this a try, because it's a lot of fun. I may go back and put a few more on the branches. You see. They do take a while to, you don't want to sop them up either, because then you lose the brightness of them. You can put some really big ones in if you wanted, like, real up front. It's nice when you've got a background of the sky already there, but you can paint your own sky. It's just a matter of Payne's gray, a little bit of blue, purple. Kind of model it so it's not one color. All right. There it is. So I could also put a little bit more snow on the limbs, because it looks like it's snowing pretty hard. So maybe right here would have a little bit, just a tiny bit more right there. Or any ones that are kind of laying sideways, they'd have a little bit more snow on them. Put more here, I guess. Brighten that one up a little bit. This one. Maybe in there. In there. I think that's good enough. And I'm just going to put a few more little wisps of, actually I think I'll use a rake brush wherever I put it. Don't see it. Now, let's see. Oh, there it is. You can also use these. Anything with a stiff bristle will work. A bit of darker. And anywhere there's, let's see, could actually just put a little tufts of grass here and there. And then just take your other liner, I guess would work, and just make some little longer ones. These are all the little extra details you can do. Broken ones. Kind of have them go in the same direction too. Not enough water on my. Broken. You could use your Posca. I just like the look of a script liner, because you can have them very thin looking when they end off. like that. And then you can also, with your brush, you can make the snow mound up against them. So just take some of that white and then you just flick it up. Against them. There. All right, there it is. A little snow-covered area. So I hope you'll give it a try. There's no printable for this one, but just make it up. Make up what you want. If you're a little nervous about doing that, then just rewatch this and make a drawing from what you see on my finished project here. And this is the last one of the year. Well, actually tomorrow will be, but let's see, that today's the 30th, so 12, 30, 21. All right, so there she is. So I hope you'll give it a try and see what you guys can do with it. It's not that difficult. Take your time, just enjoy the process. Thanks, Lori, everybody. Thanks, everyone. So we'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Eastern for my stream. And don't forget to check the Mary Altier in see the schedule. If I can, I will post it in my description below, and then you can see all the people that are going to be on there. But everyone will post the link in their description when we start tomorrow. And I believe it starts at 4:30 in the morning tomorrow and goes right through for 24 hours. So hope to see you guys there and have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye for now.